I'm going to be ranking all of the Spider-Man movies. And the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's not on here because this tier list is not updated. So I'm just going to be ranking the movies that they have here. But Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it will be A tier. It's just amazing. A lot of good cameos, a storyline, everything made sense. And then the ending, oh my goodness. It was great. But they left us on a cliffhanger. But it was great. So, starting with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield. Honestly, I didn't even see this movie. So, I seen parts of it, and I know that the Goblin is in it. Electro. And wasn't it another villain that I cannot think of? I think it was one more. Oh, Rhino, but Rhino came in at the end. But the clips that I've seen of it, this movie, it did look good, but I know that a lot of people didn't like this movie. So I'm just going to put it in F tier because I haven't seen it. Therefore, I really can't give it a proper grade. So, yeah, I haven't seen this. Spider-Man Far From Home. I love this movie. I love it so much. It gets a lot of hate, but I don't understand why. Because it was just an amazing movie. Mysterio was an amazing villain. Just like, the way that Peter Parker was having trouble balancing him being Spider-Man. In the first movie, in Homecoming, it was like he wanted to be Spider-Man, but then in Far From Home, like in the first movie in Homecoming, he wanted to be Spider-Man, but he also wanted to be recognized by, Iron Man and just other superheroes and S.H.I.E.L.D., but they weren't recognizing him and giving him good missions because they thought he wasn't experienced enough. In this movie, they gave him much more complicated missions and tasks, but he didn't want to do it because, he was just trying to be a kid. He didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. He was just trying to enjoy him being a kid, still being in high school. He's trying to enjoy his trip to, what was it, Europe or Italy, something like that, France, something like that. And he just made, a dumb decision by giving away Tony Stark's shades. And see how that went. And the scene where, he was battling all the robots and Mysterio. He was using all the visual effects at the end of the movie. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. And then the way Mysterio tried to shoot him, but Peter knew that, because he was using his spider sense. He knew what was going on. He knew where Mysterio was, and he stopped the gunshot. It was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't understand why this movie gets so much hate. A tier. Spider-Man 3, in my opinion, Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, in my opinion. Other two Spider-Man, well, Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man. Tom Holland, I feel like his Spider-Man gets a lot of hate because his Spider-Man is kind of like a developing character still. He's not really his Spider-Man is developing slower, but the development is coming, and with each movie, I feel like he's becoming a better Spider-Man. He's becoming more like the Spider-Man that we know and love. And so for this movie right here, I liked it. It was a lot going on in it. It was still a good movie though. Like if I see it on TV, well, not TV, but like if, I don't know, I would be interested in it if it's playing, but I would more likely, if it came on TV, I would most likely want to watch Spider-Man 1 and 2 than 3. But it was still a pretty good movie, pretty solid movie. So, I mean, I would kind of want to give it like a B tier, but at the same time, kind of like C tier, but I feel like C tier is too low. I'm going to give it a very low B tier, very low. Spider-Man Homecoming. Uh, Homecoming. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hated this movie. It's like they treated Spider-Man like he's nothing without the suit. And just what's his name? What's his name? Is it Falcon? I forgot his name. I think it's Falcon. He was an okay villain, I guess, but I don't know. It's just the movie didn't really hit to me. They treated Spider-Man like he was nothing the whole entire movie, like he was just a kid. And it was just like Spider-Man. He didn't know how to be Spider-Man. I mean, I get he just got his powers and he's still trying to learn, but he was making a lot of mistakes. I get it, he's new, but I feel like he shouldn't be that much of a noob. I don't know. So for this movie, wasn't bad acting or anything. I just didn't like the storyline. Give it a detail. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This movie was great. A lot of great jokes. Just a lot of things that I feel like represented Spider-Man very well. I really do like animated shows more than live action, or animated movies more than live action, because the way I feel is with animation you can do a whole lot more stuff with it. Just like that's the way. Yeah, it's just you can do a lot more stuff with it. You can express characters' feelings and emotions more with their facial expressions. You can do more with just like the animation in the background, which Sony is doing an amazing job with this Spider-Man movie series. And it's just this movie was amazing. It brought in so many different Spider-Men, that some that we've seen before and some that we haven't seen before. We knew that Gwen was Spider-Man. We knew that Spider Neor was Spider-Man. We knew about Spider-Ham, right? Then they introduced a new Spider-Man, which was, I forgot her name, but the Asian girl with the robot, with the spider robot. They introduced, Peter Parker. We already knew Peter Parker as Spider-Man, but this was a Peter Parker who was experienced as Spider-Man, who was like, what, 40 something. He was kind of like a bum. He wore sweatpants. He didn't really want to, it seems like he didn't really want to be Spider-Man, but he has to. And I never thought that I would see a Peter Parker like that. He was just funny. He was great. Like, I love that character, Peter B. Parker. So this movie, I'll put it in A tier. But which one should be first? I'll put this one first. Spider-Man 2. Looking back at it, I watched Spider-Man 2 in 2021 when this movie right here, No Way Home, before it came out. Well, I watched it again, Spider-Man 2 again before No Way Home came out. And Spider-Man 2 is amazing. Like, it's amazing. Oh my goodness. Just the message, the fights, everything about it. It's just heartwarming. It's just I love it. It's a masterpiece. Therefore, I will put it in A tier. Above Into the Spider-Verse, because I love this movie so much. It's so good. Spider-Man, the original one with Tobey Maguire. I will put this movie in either A or B tier. Probably A tier. Think about A tier. Because this movie was it was great. Like, it's great. This movie, the origins of Spider-Man, how he got his powers, and Green Goblin, great villain. And it's just like the ending is just mind-blowing. It's so good. It's so good. And then the way that, how Osborn found out that Peter was Spider-Man, it just had you at the edge of your seat. It was amazing. So it has to be an A tier for me. Spider-Man, No Way Home. It was a good movie, but I really thought they were going to do more with it. I love the fact that they put all three Spider-Man in that movie. I love it so much. I really do love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would have never thought that would happen. But something that just really something that really just kind of like bugged me was I thought that the storyline, the explanation for how the Spider-Man came to that universe, I thought it would have been a little bit better, honestly. But that's really my only fault with it. Also, I get it. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a new Spider-Man. He's very naive. He thinks he can save everyone, which you can't when you're Spider-Man. He brought all the villains to his apartment. And then in the movie theater, I literally told my friends, I was like, why would he bring all the villains to his apartment? That's a plan for disaster right there. Why would he even do that? That's so stupid. And because he's so naive, he brought them there. They all, well, what's his name? Norman, Green Goblin, killed Aunt May because of that. And all of the villains escaped. And we know how it went. But that's just the storyline, and just that part right there, it just really bugged me. But a great scene in there was when Green Goblin was beating the mess out of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the in the apartment, just like crashing through the building. It was crashing through the building, going through floors and all that. That was amazing. So for this movie, honestly, I'm gonna give it a very high. Shoot, I'm trying to put it in B tier. I'll give it a very high B tier. Last but not least, The Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. This movie right here, I liked it. It has some very cool scenes, but the way that I feel, Andrew Garfield is an amazing Spider-Man, no pun intended. He's an amazing Spider-Man. But something that really just bugged me, no pun intended again, but something that really just bugged me about the movie was, I feel like in that movie, we barely saw Peter Parker. And the Peter Parker that we did see, it seemed like he was too cool to be Peter Parker. But then again, that's not Andrew Garfield's fault. He's an amazing Spider-Man. Also, I just feel like it's just the story, just like the storyline, it could have been a little bit better. But this was a was a good movie. It was a good movie. And it has some cool parts in it, just like the lizards fighting scene, or just when it was fighting when what's his name? Andrew was fighting the lizard inside of the science lab, inside the school. That was a very cool scene. But it was just also some parts of the movie that I found kind of boring, I guess. So I'm gonna put this movie right here, B tier. And yeah, that's my ranking for all the Spider-Man movies. I will be uploading more content just about movies and just other stuff coming in the future. As time goes on, my plan is to make these videos more high quality and better. Yeah.